The warm-ups the guys will be wearing for the Coaches versus Cancer. It's all the different colors of the cancer causes and stuff like that. Pretty cool thing. And we've got kind of matching shoes for, I know, the coaches. So, yep, it'll be a big day. Obviously, when you look at Coaches versus Cancer, I think that it's an important cause, and I'm glad that we're so involved. I know Chris Nyhorst years ago started the Be the Match and really put that organization together, and it's a lifesaver for people. So, big day. Hopefully, people will participate. Morning game, so plenty of coffee early, and then let's roll. Any questions?
How have the guys responded over the last couple of days?
We've practiced pretty well, and we've practiced hard, and we've done a lot of hard things in practice. Hopefully, that translates into better play on the floor.
Frustrating performance like that and having a little bit of an extended break between games, how much has this week been about focusing on yourself as opposed to preparing for an opponent?
Yeah, I think we just finally got to Ohio State yesterday at the end of practice. It's been a lot about our mentality and where we need to go.
What types of things are you emphasizing?
Well, rebounding is one, and just more aggressive play. Better defense. Harder cuts, you name it.
How do you coach mentality? It's maybe not something you can quantify with film, but how do you? Yeah. Is there a way to do it?
Yeah, coaching in the 21st century is new and innovative ways to antagonize your players. Have you heard that before? Right? You just got to make it hard for them. Whether you, let's say you do a drill where they only have one dribble every time they touch it, or they have to defend a perfect possession, or you put a clock at a minute and they have to defend and get stops the whole minute, and if they score, there's just a lot of different things you do. But a lot of that wears them out, too. So, although my care factor on their legs is way down. So,
related to that point, Coach, I think you talked about taking ownership on your coach's show this week. Have you seen guys this week, or specific individuals maybe, sort of take ownership or step up and be leaders?
I think, and I think he's talking later today, Isaac Copeland's done a good job speaking up with the team. I think in particular, he's done a very good job.
You talked a little bit last week about not letting Michigan State beat you twice. Is that something that maybe spills over even after another loss, or is it this about Rutgers and moving past that?
I think what's hurt us in the times we haven't played well are ourselves, our own mentality. I've talked about it in different ways. Sometimes we're too smart for our own good. We overthink it. I mean, we've got a lot of deals going that way. But we have a lot of strong personality, good guys, older guys. But quite frankly, we just haven't committed to I haven't done a good job of preparing them for the physicality that they need to be and that they need to play successfully. Just the last, 2-3 weeks or whatever it might be, I just don't think that I've done a good job getting them ready. And I think we've done a better job this week. And I hope it translates into better results.
You guys were 9-9 at this point in the season. The last time you guys went to the tournament, when we went on a 10-2 run. How do you spark that kind of run, or how do you, after a loss like this, how do you kind of push to do something similar?
There's just so many games that a loss like this, quote, in quotes right there, any loss is a bad loss. They're all equal, and what you do is you just do what you think the team needs at that point in time. What does this team need? And that's the art of coaching in terms of every team's a different team. This team does not have the same dynamic of last year's team. Last year about this time we were hit with a whole bunch of controversy off the floor that had nothing to do with our team. It had a lot to do with our society. And we had to deal with that because it did affect our team. And this year we have our own challenges, just like Ohio State does and everybody else in the country. So, you just have to have your pulse on it, have great relationships with your guys, communicate well of where everybody is to get on the same page. And that's what we spent a lot of time doing this week.
What does this team need?
Toughen up.
You feel like you have the right relationships with your guys? I know you talk about meeting with them and stuff like that.
I do, yeah. I think they have a good perspective on what's going on, too.
Something interesting on your radio show too about the balance of scaring them of like, hey, this team's really good, and also, so how do you balance that in terms for the rest of the season? Like, do you change the way that you approach that aspect of it?
I guess I haven't thought like what I should do from game to game, but we've spent a lot of time worrying about how we can play better basketball this week. I think that was just more of a reflective point about sometime like at different points in my career, oh my goodness, this team is the best team. This kid will kill you, and you just try and create this, but that erodes over time too, and it hurts your team. But when you don't do it and you lose a game, and you're like, I should have done it, I should have. But I don't know that's not. You're not going to get them to play till they own it and they're ready to go, or unless you have just supreme talent. But this league is, what's the best league you've ever been in? The one you're in currently, right? But this league is a beast like I've never seen, honestly.
Building off what you said about preparing them for physicality, what challenges did the front court of Ohio State present?
Coach Holtman is excellent. In fact, his college coach, Paul Patterson, is a guy I talked to a couple weeks ago. He's a tremendous coach at Taylor of Indiana. John Gross played there too. Holt and John Gross played, and Chris's teams remind me of those Taylor teams. They were NAI teams back then, right? But physical, execute their stuff, move well without it. A lot of different guys can do a lot of different things. So they pose challenges. And then you've got Caleb Wesson, who's an all-conference type player inside, who can score, who can shoot it from three, who can really passes well out of it too. So they've got a lot of challenges. And, Wisconsin's had a long losing streak. We've dropped 4 of 6. Ohio State's in the middle of one too. It's just there are really good teams that, you've got to go out and do your all to figure out how to get a win. We've got to do it, and they've got to do it. So it'll be a great game on Saturday morning.
Losing Young changed what they do.
Yeah, they went a lot smaller. There's times they had Musa Jallo at their center, and Caleb Wesson, down there too. More mobile, 5 perimeter guys out there running around. Young is a really strong rebounder, good shot blocker, tremendous athlete, has done some very good things this year. Certainly, like anytime you have injury, it affects you. It just depends, in-game injuries are the worst, knock on wood, because you don't have any time to prepare. The more time they have to prepare, I think the better off they'll be.
Knowing your lack of depth issues, do you have certain players maybe that play with fear of fouling and don't just go out there and play sometimes?
Yeah, I think that's what when I say that our guys sometimes overthink it, I think sometimes they think that they're so valuable to the team that we can't do it without them, and then we screw it up anyway. And so here's what I tell them: play as hard as you can, play as well as you can, don't mess with karma. And if I got to get this guy 16 minutes instead of 8 or 12, guess what? It'll probably work out. We just need to play. Play as hard as you can, as long as you can.
Do you want to try and get the bench more involved?
I want to get Brady. I need to get Brady in. And I just think that he's a guy that can do some things, and and it will allow us to play in a different way too.
What's kept him out of the
Me? I'm the guy that does the subs, right? I don't think he played very well for a while. I think he had hit a wall for a little bit, and we're asking a lot of him, so that's not uncommon. And but I want him to know I believe in him too. That's why I got it rolling back out there.
What are the steps for Amir to get more into that mix? I know he hasn't played in the second half of it since he's
back. I think as he just gets more of a taste of it, and plays better, he'll be all right.
Coach, we know playing basketball is playing basketball, but playing at 11 a.m. is a little bit unique for this team. What are the challenges that come with a morning tip-off?
Well, to see who drinks coffee and who doesn't, I don't know. The one thing about this current generation of AU guys, these guys have all been in AU, and they've played 8 o'clock games, and so it's probably more uncommon for us than it is them. I think they'll be ready. I think is Columbus on Eastern time or Central time zone? Yeah, so it's even a 10 a.m. game for them. But I don't think, other than maybe a late arriving crowd, I think that PBA will be cooking like normal.
Do you just look completely past that 5-game losing streak for Ohio State?
I do, yeah. I didn't know it until they were talking about it on the broadcast the other night.
Because they're still
good.
When you look at their losses, even the last 5 games, you still see
they're good.
Yeah.
But with them losing 5 in a row and you guys needing a win, I guess what kind of intensity do you expect from both teams?
Well, I would say that both teams, will be exactly what you would imagine 2 Big Ten teams fighting for victory are just a well-played, hard-played game, a real physical game. And, you just got to battle your butt off to get on top. Because any weakness, anything you're not doing well, will be capitalized on.